How many years in prison can this police officer face in jail for doing this to an inmate? Keep on watching until the end of the video to find out. In this video, this police officer from Arkansas, Joseph Harris, is transporting an inmate who is very talkative, loquacious, and it causes irritation to the police officer. Most people in his position would simply ignore the inmate and carry on driving to the prison where they were going. But this police officer did not do that. Instead, he commenced to go to the car and administer the most vicious beating that I've seen in a very long time. And it is so graphic that it should not be displayed on YouTube. It was a terrible display of abuse of power by the police officer. Most times police departments try to sweep this under the rug and pretend as if it's a non-issue. In the days before camera evidence, camera footage, the officers would simply lie, say that they were attacked, and get away with it. Luckily, in this day and age, it's much harder to do so. What makes the incident even worse is the fact that the inmate, Billy Lee Corum, was tied up. He was restrained by the seat belt and what appears to be hand restraints as well, so he could not defend himself whatsoever, and it made his injuries even worse. But it also creates a further legal problem. It means that he could have been seriously hurt or even unalived. So you're dealing with an attempted unaliving of an inmate. That means that the police officer, if he was convicted of intentionally doing this, so first degree unaliving, and you know what that is, but obviously for the YouTube algorithm we'll just call it unaliving as opposed to the M word. So for attempted first degree unaliving, the police officer, if convicted and if charged with that count, could face between 6 to 30 years in prison. He could be away for 30 years in jail. In addition to the official misconduct charges that he could also face, given the fact he is a law enforcement officer. This is how serious this conduct is and how terrible too. But in this instance, Billy Lee Corum should hire an attorney, go to civil court, sue the police, also go to the hospital, get the medical records of the incidents which show that he was badly damaged. In fact, he was beaten so viciously that he was actually unconscious for a long period of time in the back of that patrol car. And the police chief actually fired the police officer Joseph Harris. But in my opinion, this is way beyond firing and will certainly necessitate that criminal charges are brought and a civil claim is filed, and the police department would have to say sorry in the language which they understand, which is coughing up millions of dollars for this brutal display. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.